I'm Serena Fazan, taking a risk, making a difference, and changing the course of your life. Remarkable stories from people defying the odds. You're listening to On the Record. Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. It's Serena Fazan, and I am delighted to introduce you to two amazing ladies. Shay Henderson, owning So Lovely. We're going to talk about your wonderful makeup products, and Kimberly Camacho. I mean, you're talking about clothes, and I love clothes. She's the owner of Triage, a consignment store here in Tampa. So girls, introduce yourselves.
So my name is Shanika Henderson. I've been in Tampa 3 years. Work for Kong Management Group is how I know Sky Strategic. They're our marketers.
And then we got a chance to meet because
Yes.
I met your cousin.
Yes, you did a podcast with my
Devin
cousin.
Joseph, who just happened to play for the Buccaneers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we did a podcast with him on coping with the coronavirus and professional sports, we are going to be talking about that today. And then Kimberly, introduce yourself.
So Kimberly Camacho, I moved to Tampa about 7 years ago from New York City. Prior to that, I lived in Boston. Have an interesting start as to how I got a consignment store. I used to work in financial services.
You're kidding.
And I worked in hedge funds and private equity.
Hedge funds and private equity, too close. Oh my gosh. Okay, tell us what happened.
Yeah. So when the market collapsed in 2009, I lost my job. My two biggest clients were Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers. They no longer exist. And, I did my master's, and I did my master's in a year because I wasn't working. And then the ladies at the Kate Spade store near my house said, "Oh, you come here to shop so much, you should just work here." I said, "Oh, that sounds like fun. Like, I'll get a little part-time job while I'm looking for a big girl job." And my part-time job quickly became a big girl job. Within 2 years, I was up in New York City running a flagship store.
Oh my gosh, so that is amazing. Okay, so when you started working at Kate Spade as, like a part-time job, was that in New York?
No, that was in like Farm Country, Maryland. It was at an outlet location. It wasn't even like a full-blown retail location.
So when you were in Maryland, though, where were you working when you lost your jobs? Were you in New York?
No, I was in Boston.
You were in Boston.
I was in Boston. I lived there for 10 years.
You lose your job. You go to Maryland. Mm-hmm. You work at a farm store, as you said, or farm country.
I lived in farm country, yeah, like absolute farm country.
You work, and then you go to the flagship store in New York.
There was an interim stop. There was a high volume store in Leesburg, Virginia, and I went down and I ran that store for about a year first, and then I made the move up to New York City. And
your love for clothing, I mean, I know we all love clothes, but I mean, as a business, really started there.
Yeah, and really my passion is helping people. Like, I was always in the relationship management side of financial services, and this sort of combines the two, like being able to help women, dress themselves and just create a really good and welcoming environment that people want to be in. And it's a great intersection of the two things I really enjoy.
I know. I mean, I'm always a huge promoter of women, business, helping each other. So Kimberly, I'm going to get back to you, but Shay, so tell us about your products, and you started your products right during this whole coronavirus pandemic.
Sitting home with nothing to do outside of work. And so, like, my brain is going crazy. I have to do something to keep busy. What can I do? And I'm like, I can't go shopping. I'm shopping every day online. Can't go to the store. So I'm like, I'm up every night. I'm like, I'm going to make lip gloss. Why? I don't know. I love lip gloss.
So that's my next question.
Why? I don't know, but I love lip gloss. So I'm like, it can't be that hard to make. I'm just going to make my own. Start researching. And before I knew it, I made some. And then I advertised it, and it sold. So then I made more, and then it just became a passion. Like, I can make lip gloss with my eyes closed now.
Okay, so when you said you started to research it, how did you research it? Did you go on YouTube?
I went on YouTube. I went on Google. I went online. I watched videos till 2 o'clock in the morning, finding the products. What do you need? And then I tested. So I didn't sell at first. I just did it. And, me and my daughter, I'm like, try this on. How does it feel? How does it, taste or whatever? And from there, it just kept going. And then I introduced colors and pigments. And then after that, I was like, okay, let me try something else. So I tried the lip scrubs. And I was like, it can't be that hard. Let me research some more. tried the body scrubs. And then so now I do the lip gloss and the body scrubs and the body butters as well.
Did you ever imagine that once you started, it would start taking off like this?
No, but I wanted it to. I didn't, but I wanted it to. I knew that I wanted it to. I just didn't know that it would. And I have to say I've had great support, family, friends, even people I don't know. So I'm shipping 3 times a week. I'm doing deliveries on my spare time. And I'm a big fan of my own products, so I have a dresser for it now. I probably have like 30 lip gloss in my purse. I have them on my dresser. My daughter's bathing in scrubs and butter, so that's how it's been.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank
and
you.
I want to talk about that more in a minute. But Kimberly, so back to you though. So here you are as well. It's amazing, right? Like how all of a sudden a thought or something that you do or circumstances like the coronavirus situation just drives us into action.
Especially with something you've never touched before. Never.
Right. Yeah. So here you are, you have your master's degree, you're working in like corporate America. You decide, now you're at one of the flagship stores, Kate Spade, in New York. How long ago was this, and why did you decide to move on down to Florida?
I moved down to Florida. My grandparents got really sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's fine. I mean, that's what precipitated the move. I just was... Retail in New York City is very challenging.
And are you kind of happy that you're not in New York City right now?
Yes, very much so.
I'm sorry.
Very much so.
I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, bless their hearts over there. And all of us, but bless their hearts over there. So again, about your grandparents, I'm sorry, but it is something, isn't it? Like life just sometimes hits us and we have to make changes
and adjust
because of our life. So your grandparents sadly got sick.
Yeah. So I moved down here, and when I got here, I said, that's it. No more retail, no more nights, no more weekends, no more holidays. I'm not doing it. I'm going to get back into financial services. And so I did. I worked for a great company. I was good at my job. I worked with smart people. I had great benefits. But I was miserable, and I couldn't figure out why. And so I'd taken time off of work, and I was getting ready to go back to work, and a friend of mine was like, I don't think you should go back to your job. I said, well, I think you're wrong.
Right.
And so she's like, I think you should get a part-time job. And I knew that the owners of Triage, before I purchased it from them, I knew that they needed help. And I thought, oh, well, if I ran a store in New York, I could run circles around a consignment store.
I was about to say, okay, just take a break for 1 minute and tell people who may be listening, because we have viewers all over the country, Triage is a consignment store.
Yes, Triage is a women's consignment boutique.
Got it. Okay. And so your friends say, all right, help with this store. So then what happened?
So I was there within 2 weeks. I was like, yep, this is why I can't go back to my job. Like, I'm miserable. I can't go back to my job. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going back to financial services. And about 2 or 3 weeks after that, the previous owner, Linda, came to me and she said, oh my God, Kim, we found a buyer for our building. We are going to sell the building, we are going to sell the business, and we are going to retire. And
what
I
are
was
you thinking?
just like, I'm in the car and I'm driving to the store as I hear this, and just like out of my mouth, I'm like, well, how much would you want for it? And that's how it started.
Isn't that something?
It just, the pieces kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
So how long ago was this? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or how long ago was this?
Just about 2 years ago is when we first started having these discussions.
So all of a sudden she mentions this to you that, they're thinking about selling. And so the wheels start churning, and I'm so proud of you that you made it happen, because clearly you bought it.
Yes, we made it happen. We made it happen.
Wow. Okay. So both of you talk to me about that. Like, here you are, business owners. Congratulations. Female business owners.
Thank you.
How did you each make it happen? I mean, was it the drive? Was it the determination? What was it? What was it?
Both for me. It was the drive, it was the determination, and it was, I'm more of a challenge person. So if you tell me I can't, I can. No one told me I can't, so I automatically was going to do it. So for me, it just was, I didn't want to fail, and nobody had expectations but me. I gave myself my own expectations. So
How about you, Kimberly?
Gosh, I don't know. For me, it was happiness. Like that's what it was. Like you get to the point where it's like you can have all the money in the world, you can have like all the material things, but if you're not happy every day, then why? What's the point? And so I really I just wanted to be happy, and I'm like, I don't care if I become a millionaire doing this. I don't whatever. Like I just want to be happy.
And there is a lot to be said for that. My sweet and amazing intern, Matthew, is listening to this podcast. He's in the studio right now. We'll have to take a picture of him later. But I just told him when he was interviewing to be an intern, I said, coming from a journalistic standpoint, we've done so many stories, so much research, more heart attacks, sadly, or more suicides, I should say, for sadly, happen on Sunday nights. And most heart attacks happen on Monday if you're looking at the traditional work week, because people dread going to work or they're depressed about work. And if you love what you do, that is priceless. You make up for it.
You do.
And hopefully financially it also
works out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happiness,
works out.
Yeah. Definitely being happy is a key. I agree with you because I think everybody at some point has been there where you're doing something, money might be good, but you're not happy.
And don't you both agree that when you do something that you absolutely love, all of a sudden you're pouring in all these extra hours, but it doesn't feel like work because you love it?
It doesn't feel like work, yeah, definitely.
So, all right, so Kimberly, let me ask you, because as a journalist, I have talked about consignment shops a lot. I love consignment stores because we're on TV all the time, or if it's not TV, it's social media. So to keep up with the clothes and to buy full price all the time, I mean, I can't break the bank.
Yeah, it gets very expensive.
Yeah, so tell us the advantages of shopping at consignment stores. I certainly know the advantage, and I'm an advocate.
Well, I guess we're called triage because triage is the process of picking the most important things out of a group of many. So we've essentially done the process of picking out the best items for you before you even get there. We've gone through and we make sure that they're, in fashion, or if they're, more than a couple years old, that they're still relevant. And they're great clothes that are in great condition. A lot of times they haven't even been worn. Like, I can't tell you the number of things I have with price tags still on them. Over the winter, I helped with a very large clean out project, and I had jackets with $4,000 price tags still on them. I mean, just absolutely would, blow your mind that, there are so many things that we buy and don't wear, and we're all guilty of it. It's not like it's these are like, it's not just like, not all people are guilty, but it's, we all do it.
So how much of a discount can you get at a consignment store, would you say?
At least at my store, I would say at least 75%. Up to 90. So if you went to, say, Dillard's, and there was a dress that you would buy there for $130, $140, it would be somewhere between $30 and $40 at my store.
And it's also very beneficial, not just for the buyer, but also people can consign with you as well, can't they?
Yes.
So talk to me about that.
Well, you speak about being in the media. Several news anchors here in Tampa bring their items to triage. I'm not at liberty to say who.
Yeah, right.
I'm not at liberty to say who, but I mean, because they have to wear things on air and they can only wear them once,
Yes.
and then, they bring them to triage. And, there are a lot of ladies now with social media and Facebook and Instagram. Like, once you feel like you've been photographed in something, you don't want to be photographed in it again.
Yeah.
And so it's got to go. And you may swap it out and buy something new at the store. You may, order something online, but it really helps you rotate your closet.
Absolutely. And especially with the whole thing with social media. I mean, before, I remember starting years ago, and it didn't matter. Like, you would reprocess the same clothes.
Yeah.
But now you can't anymore.
No.
So Shay, let me ask you, Which and I want to get back to you about the coronavirus stuff too, Kimberly. But let me ask you, like during this time though, when so many of us are at home and we're finally beginning to get back to normal a little bit, have you found that women are craving your products though? Because how much time can you spend in your pajamas all day?
Yesterday was a full day.
Wow.
Yesterday was a full day. And once I was done, I immediately went to my mom's, and I have like a customer out there who just, she buys. So I have people that religiously, weekly or every 2 weeks, as soon as I put out something, they're calling or buying it, and they're buying numerous of it at one time. I have some of them that buy 5 body scrubs at one time, 6 lip glosses at one time. Although I'm happy, but I have some that just really, I have repeated buyers often.
Don't you feel, and I love your name, so lovely. I mean, don't you feel especially, I think it's important for us to feel lovely all the time, no matter what it is. If it's wearing a baseball cap and going out with no makeup, or whether it's, getting all dressed up. But especially during this time when I think so much of us are going through so many emotional ramifications as well. We're seeing the country in this crisis.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's more important than ever to treat yourself?
Of course. I'm a big advocate of treating yourself. I don't care if it's a t-shirt. I don't care if it's socks. I don't care if it's lip gloss, a hat. Even if it's one item, I'm a big fan of buy yourself something to make you feel good, or get yourself something to make you feel good. So for me, I haven't been to the stores to shop in forever, but every time I make something, I put me a batch to the side for myself.
Good for you.
I do.
And so, making stuff, tell us about your kitchen, or where you make it.
Exactly. My kitchen, my house my daughter said the other day that our house is starting to look like a factory, because we have boxes and containers, and every day somebody is dropping another package off at the door. And I'm trying to make more room, but my kitchen, a big KitchenAid mixer, because hand whipping has become, tiring, and I can't get enough done with my hands. So I have a KitchenAid mixer. The body butters is a process that takes the longest. Lip gloss takes no time, as long as you're consistent with your mixing. And once you learn the formula, you learn it. If someone tells me something I do take criticism, so I want to know how it feels. If it's sticky, I try not to ever make that. And if I like it, I try to hope that they'll like it. So I do take, if they say, oh, it needs a little more color, then I know the next time I'm going to add more pigment to it. But my kitchen is my factory. My dining room is my packaging area. My living room is my shipping process area. And so every closet is a storage in my house. I have bins and containers, and that's, I'm just growing.
And we're so happy for you that you're growing.
Thank you.
Within this environment, and I'll ask Kimberly the same question too, how do you guarantee your consumers that your products are safe?
For me, I have tons of allergies. I can put on the wrong thing and I'm going to be broken out for days. So for me, that was the biggest thing, is looking for products that, allergies. A lot of oils and lip glosses, sometimes they use products with nuts. You have people that have allergy with nuts, so you have to be careful. So for me, I don't use any nut oils in mine. I stick to vitamin E's and mineral oils, things like that. I don't use a lot of glitters. Glitters irritate people's skin, and a lot of people don't know that. Glitters will in certain colors, so I don't do a lot of things with color. Just the dye in it itself will irritate you if you have those type of allergies. And for I like to do my butters. I don't put any color or add any fragrance. Certain things irritates people's skin, so I just leave them raw. So a lot of people say, "Oh, it smells like chocolate," but it's just cocoa butter.
We thought it smelled like chocolate.
Yeah,
it's just raw cocoa butter.
Yeah, it made me hungry.
Yeah, it's just raw cocoa butter and shea butter and coconut oils and things that's broken down and whipped together. So I don't add anything to it.
And forgive me, because I've never made products before, and I've never sold products that I've made. Do you have to put a disclosure on your products that Tell us
Yes,
about that
you
process.
do. If you're gonna, like, once you put it on the internet to be sold, you do have to disclose what you have in those products for each one. So if you're using things that, like I said, people have allergies to, you have to disclose it. If you're gonna use almond oil or things that people have allergy to, you should disclose it. I would say you want to make sure that you make them aware of it. Some people don't like peppermint oil. I use peppermint oil, but I also don't in some products. They don't like the way it makes their, lips feel or whatever. A lot of people like the plumping method, so I put peppermint oil.
I would be one of those people
Yeah,
that
me
like the
too.
plumping.
So I just let them know, I tell them, it's gonna be minty or it's gonna feel like your lips is plumping. It's just peppermint oil. I didn't put anything in it. It's just the effect that peppermint oil has. So I just make sure I disclose. But I haven't gotten to that stage yet where I'm adding, all these different colors or products and ingredients. Everything is kitchen based. You pretty much can eat it. So you can pretty much eat it. The lip scrubs, my daughter, she tastes and eat at the same time. So
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So Kimberly, though, with you, now that stores are open again, so you are inviting customers into your store. How do you guarantee to your customers and your consigners that all your products are safe? The clothing is safe. It's been washed. In your words.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, everything needs to come in laundered. I think that a big part of the appeal for us is the fact that because we are such a small environment compared to a store at the mall, we have so much more control over what happens. So, cleaning and sanitizing is, I don't want to say a lot easier because it's still like a laborious process, but you don't have to worry about, people getting tired and cutting corners or that sort of thing because you have a much smaller environment.
Yeah.
And it's, we're a very service-based store to begin with. And so just providing that extra, like the extra mile is something that is, I'm going to say, sort of intuitive to us already, but it just makes sense. And that's...
And plus, I mean, I always feel like supporting a local business or female-owned businesses, like the message it can send to our young people, our young people as well.
I just know that during quarantine or during this whole COVID thing, I have seen so many people that I've known personally or just know launch businesses. I mean, could be, whole thing with jobs closing down, but it really has given people a drive to just start something. Even if they, a little scared, they step out and did it. And I mean, I've met tons of females that's doing
that.
Yeah.
Well, that could really be, so there's always some type of silver lining. So maybe it's like giving people that push that they needed so badly to start something that they never did, but now they're forced to do it. And we've also seen a lot of kindness. Kimberly, tell me about the stories that you've seen with your consigners that actually told you to keep their checks.
Yeah, so we do have a very loyal customer base and consignor base because you can't have one without the other. And just I constantly say that our ladies really are just the best. Like you won't get any finer ladies. And I kept them informed the entire time that we were closed, and I said, I'm financially, I'm not sure how bad this is going to be for us, and until I can sort of determine that, I'm putting payments on hold for any of the consignment. And not one single person said, I don't agree with this, or, I'm afraid you're going to go under. It was all 100% we agree with you. Some ladies did say, keep my check, make sure that you can give it to your employees, because they knew that I had to lay off, my staff. And our store is not that big. Our staff we're very, very close. And the customers know the staff very well. And so just wanting to make sure that these people that they see as friends are taken care of, it was really heartwarming.
I was about to say, doesn't that so warm your heart and just remind you so much of the good of community?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we really do. We really have the best community.
We do. We do. And I know we have like nationwide viewers, but I always say like Tampa. I love Tampa. I cannot get
I'm learning.
Yeah, it is awesome. It is awesome. So
I'm learning.
ladies, tell us how people can find you.
You can find me. I'm all over social media. I have Facebook, So Lovely. Instagram is So Lovely _2020.
Um,
And you spell lovely in a unique way, right?
SOLUBELY.
Don't you love it? Love.
Also, I do have a website. It's solovely.myshopify.com. All the products are there. You can subscribe to emails. I'm going to be doing discounts and free shipping. I always send emails up to whoever subscribes. You know, you get this free code, or it could buy one get one free, and I give samples a lot.
What are your price points?
So my lip gloss, they range from 4 to 10 depending on the size. I have squeeze tubes, I have smaller ones, I have bigger wand tubes that have brushes like this, have a brush tip at the end. So it just depends on what they want. And body butters are 9 depending on the size. The biggest size is 9. I start at 2 ounces. This is 6 ounces. It's same thing with the body scrubs from 2, 4, and 6 ounces. Hopefully I get bigger sizes as I get bigger work area.
We hope so. And so Kimberly, how can people find you? Give us the address of your store and everything else.
All right, so Triage Consignment is located at 4109 Henderson Boulevard in Tampa, Florida, zip code 33629. We also have a presence on Facebook and Instagram, and we are on the web at www.triageconsignment.com.
Now, do you ship or anything at this point, or is it just mostly you come into the store?
I mostly come into the store. We have shipped in the past. You get into like interstate commerce, and there are some like other things. It's like a whole other ball game at that point.
Yeah.
But we have made house calls and
well, that's good to know.
That kind of stuff as well. So
awesome. All right, well, ladies, we're so proud of you. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast studio. And I'm always, again, a huge supporter of women building up their businesses and following their dreams. I learn something new every single day. I mean, I can't believe it. Like with you too, like thinking you're going to be in finance for all those years, and here you are in a consignment store. Who in the world would have ever thought you would be using your kitchen to make lip gloss and body butters, right?
Property management to lip gloss.
Hey.
It's been, my 3 years been a journey.
Makeup and clothes. You gotta love it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And you can always find me on every single social media platform: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Just search for my name, Serena Fazan, Fazan. Again, thanks for watching.